Okay, so I think I you have to start again so that we can all flow together. So my topic is how to use vegetables. Sorry, how to use organic manure for vegetables. So most of what we eat today, apart from the normal rice, gari, beans, and all that, most of the food we eat for healthy living, vegetable is part of it. And we have noticed today that some of these vegetables are not grown organically, like they are not using organic manure to grow them, because most farmers that are selling them today, they after profits what they will gain, and because of that they tend to use fertilizers and some other chemicals they are not supposed to use to grow these vegetables, and it's a very big risk to our health. So it is important that as humans, as farmers, as consumers, that we try to grow these vegetables on our own, yes, for healthy living. So we see that many people today they believe that growing vegetables requires expensive fertilizers. So when they think about before I will start buying fertilizer, I will start buying those chemicals. Abeg, let me just be buying vegetables in the market. But then there's a picture I saw last week. They were saying about this GMO, that if you see, okay, it was watermelon, that seedless watermelon without seed is not healthy for consumption, that like a natural watermelon that is grown from the farm should have seed. So the one without seed is telling us that there is that particular watermelon is not grown organically. That means they use chemical to grow them. And most of us we come across this kind of fruits and vegetables every day, and we eat them without even knowing anything. And before you know, we start complaining of I have these issues, I have that issues, and we start putting the blame on some other things that are not the cause of that sickness or that illness. So it's important that once it comes to what we eat, apart from vegetables and every other food, we should be conscious. We should start asking questions. How is this produced? Start making research on how this particular food I'm eating is produced. So now when it comes to vegetables are this particular aspect of food that we cannot do without. Yes, it is necessary that every food you eat should contain a vegetable. Even even as even what's this called? I can't remember it now. But everything you eat, at least there should be a part of vegetable in it. So this is how much value vegetable has. So it is important that we grow these vegetables on our own, and then not just growing it on our own. It is important that we grow these vegetables organically. So the truth is that some of the healthiest and most productive vegetable gardens are nourished with organic manure. So most of the vegetables you see today are produced organically. If used correctly, organic manure can improve soil health, reduce production costs, and increase harvest. So when we grow our vegetables organically, it's reduce production costs, because all these chemicals they use in growing all these crops today, they are very costly in the market. But once you decide to go with organic manure, it reduces your production cost, because organic manure are easy to get. They are around us, they're everywhere around us, so they're easy to get. So once you decide to plant your crops or vegetables organically, it will reduce production costs for you and also increase harvest. The best way to get better results from vegetables is when you go organic. Now, what is this organic manure we're talking about? Please, is everyone with me? I don't want to be. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yes,
Hello.
yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, what is this organic manure we're talking about? Organic manure is any natural material that has decomposed and can supply nutrients to plants. Organic manure, you can mark that word natural material. So organic manure involves natural, anything natural that is not man-made, that man did not use their hand to produce, or man did not use their hand to make up. So organic manure is any natural material that has decomposed. So it's not just organic material. Sorry, it's not just natural material. It must be what decomposed and can supply nutrients to plants. So we can get organic manure from natural materials. That's what I'm trying to say here. So we can get organic manure from natural materials. Examples of this organic manure are poultry manure. That's waste from chicken. We have cow dung, that's waste from the cow. We have goat manure, that's waste from goats. We have pig manure, that's waste from the pig. And also we have compost from kitchen and farm waste. Now I will explain further. So when it comes to this poultry waste, cow dung, goat manure, as in waste from animals, people, most persons dey be like, I can't use those, especially home garden, like people that not for, it's not for commercial use, like you're not selling vegetables, you want to grow them in your house now. Most persons dey be like, I can't stand the smell of this animal waste. So with that, in that case, I cannot grow anything in my house. I can't do that because I cannot get the smell. I work in a pig farm. So those waste from animals, they smell a lot. So most persons cannot withstand it, and because of that, that's their own barrier for them not to grow vegetables in their houses. So they will rely on buying vegetables outside, and most of all the vegetables they are buying outside, some of them are not healthy, they are not organically produced, and thereby they are standing risks of what, health issues. So when it comes to this animal waste, so person that don't want to use it, there is another way of getting organic manure, which is from compost from kitchen. So now if you don't want to make use of the animal waste, you can use compost made from kitchen and farm waste. Now what are those compost? They are food waste, that those things you finish using in your kitchen, like eggshells, like potato peels, plantain peels, those things from the kitchen that you don't want to use again, that you throw them in your dustbin. Those things, those food waste, those unwanted food that you don't want to eat again, that you don't want to use, they can serve as what, organic manure. So instead of throwing them inside the dustbin, you can dig a hole. Each day, every day you finish, any day you have food waste, you just throw it inside that hole. Any day you have food waste, just throw it inside that hole. I think when I'm using a slide, I would have shown a picture, but maybe later, after this webinar, I'm going to send a picture. So you dig a hole in your compound, every food waste you have each day, you throw them inside that hole. From there, you allow it to decompose, and once it get rotten, you can use it. It can also serve as organic manure. This is for if you don't want to use animal waste. Then another one is green manure from decomposed plants. There are plants that are dead. So once they decompose, you can also use the manure from there, from dead plants, to serve as organic manure. So organic manure feeds both the plants and soil. So organic manure feeds both the plants and the soil. So sometimes for persons to be like, in my compound I plant this particular plant, it did not grow. It did not grow. Sometimes it's because the soil is not fertile. So but once you start using organic manure, you start applying organic manure to that soil, it becomes productive, it becomes fertile, both for the plant you want to plant there and the soil itself. So it's now making it a sustainable option for your vegetable or your crop production. Now, why should we use organic manure? So some person may be asking, how am I, how why is what's the reason for using organic manure? Why is this so important? Now, organic manure serves as, it improves soil fertility. Like I said earlier, the soil, maybe for example, you plant a particular vegetable and it's not growing well, probably because you did not apply organic manure. So once you start applying organic manure, that soil tends to become fertile. It increases water holding capacity. Another reason for using organic manure is it increases water holding capacity. Once you start applying organic manure in that particular plant, once you apply water, it will have that tendency to hold water together. Another one is it reduce dependence on chemical fertilizers. So instead of depending on chemical fertilizers for your plants, it will you the organic the organic manure the organic manure will help you to reduce the cost of chemical fertilizers. So all these chemical fertilizers in the market are very costly and it's not advisable to use. So with organic manure, you will not be spending money on buying chemical fertilizers. Another one is it produce healthier vegetables. So instead of complaining that my vegetable is not growing well, once you start using all this organic manure, the food waste, the animal waste, your vegetables start becoming healthy and to start growing well. And the last one is it improves long-term soil productivity. Once you start applying organic manure to your crops, your soil tends to become like to become productive for a very long time. That even if you harvest, maybe for example, you plant ugu there, and after some time you don't want to go again, you want to plant okra, it will still become, because you have been applying organic manure to that soil will still become fertile and it will not stress you. So these are some reasons why we use organic manure. Now, moving forward, how to use organic manure correctly. There are, in everything we do, there are better ways to do them. So sometimes you can be doing the right thing, but if you're not doing it correctly, there will still be errors in it. So even while you are using organic manure, if you don't apply it very well, you still have issues, and you will still be complaining that even as I'm using organic manure, I'm still not getting the result I want. So there are few ways we can use organic manure, and one of them is compost before use. Fresh animal manure should not be applied directly to vegetables because it can burn plants and may contain harmful organisms. Compost compost it for several weeks until it becomes dark, crumbly, and has an earthly smell. What am I trying to say here? One way to use organic manure correctly is to compost before use. What does that mean? Once, okay, for example, if you want to use animal waste, you will not have, once you get the animal waste, you will not have, you not use it at that time as it's still fresh. If you just go to a pig farm, you get the waste, then you go to your garden and start pouring it there, it will overnight, it will burn the vegetables. So you allow the manure to decompose, allow it to stay, allow it to rot ten. That's the simplest word I can use. Allow it to rot ten, let it, if I let maggots be coming in, because even those maggot that is coming out is still manure. So you allow the manure to allow the that animal waste, allow it to decompose, let it rot ten for some time. There's a cucumber farmer I know. She plants her cucumber, she based only on cucumber at that time, and she focus mainly on organic, planting organic cucumbers. So, and she use this poultry waste. So once she has finished digging the ridges for each cucumbers, she will now apply the she will apply the decomposed poultry waste. And once she put that waste on the ridges, she will not plant at that time, she will wait after like 3 days, 4 days before she will now plant the seeds. So before you use any organic manure, you have to allow it to decompose first, even the food waste, because you get food waste like eggshells, potato peels. Does not mean that after you bring them out, you brought it out from the kitchen, you go and pour it inside the farm like that. It does not work that way. So you have to allow them to rot in first, let them decompose and start, let them be smelling before you can use it. So number two is to prepare the land. So before you start using organic manure, you have to prepare the land by clearing the weeds, losing the soil, and make your bed before applying manure. So even if you want to plant on ordinary ordinary ground, or you want to use nursery beds, or you want to use ridges, or anyhow, or even in a sack, or in a, but just prepare anything you want to use to plant, any process you are using, just prepare it first before you start thinking about the organ. Maybe you want to plant this week, or you want to start farming, you want to start home garden this week. Before you go and even get the manure, you have to prepare the land first. If you're not using land, if you are using containers, because most persons they be like, I can't start home garden, I don't have a land. No, you don't need to have a land before you start home garden. You don't need to have a land. You can use anything. Now we can use containers, you can use bags, you can use sack to start. So you see, there's no excuses for you not to grow organic. I'm sorry, for you not to grow your own food, especially these basic things like vegetables. There's no excuse at all, because you don't even need to have quarter plot of land or one full plot of land for you to start growing your own vegetables. The sacks in your house, this sack bag they said 200 can serve, cement bag can serve, containers can serve, rubbers, and those bucket, anything, even wheelbarrow can serve, tires can serve to grow those vegetables around you. Bottles and container can serve. So another one is to apply the right quantity, and another one is water after application. Once you've applied the decomposed manure, you water before you start planting your crops. Now, some practical tips. I think my time is gone already, so let me rush it and conclude. Some practical tips for home gardeners: if you don't have access to animal manure, like I said earlier, don't throw away your vegetable peels. You can use your fruit waste, your egg shells, or dry leaves Compose them at home, allow them to rot, let them be smelling before you can use. Conclusion: organic manure is more than a fertilizer. It's a way to restore our soil, produce healthier food, reduce farming costs, and protect the environment. So whether you are growing vegetables in your backyard, or on a small plot, or even for commercial purposes, proper use of organic manure can significantly improve your results. And remember, healthy soil grows healthy vegetables, and healthy vegetables build healthy families. Thank you.